So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 come out September 4th. I've never pre-ordered a game so damn fast in my life. Once I heard, nigga, I was like, what?
My mouse fell off the
went to
table. I was so
Microsoft
excited.
Store and pre-ordered the shit out of that junk. I was like, yeah, y'all told me that news at the right time while I still had my stimulus check.
Boy.
Wow. He said, well, I still have my stimulus check. You have that?
Can't relate. That shit is long gone, first of all, but like
I pre-ordered the shit out of that joke.
My Uncle Tony?
And here's the best part about all of it, right? It gives you the all-star cast of the first two games.
Oh yeah.
It gives you, albeit minus one, maybe two songs, the entire soundtrack from the first two games.
Oh yeah.
And then you have completely not only remastered character models, but completely remastered models of the levels to the point where, as you go along, it free flows.
Oh yeah.
So you can accomplish to the warehouse or whatever. Once the school in Florida unlocks, you can pretty much skate down the street to the school and kill shit there. Then eventually you can skate down to the mall, so on and so forth, instead of, the original locations of
the loading screens or whatever.
And that thus lessening the loading screens like they did for starting Project 8.
Wow.
I needed a remaster Bully, bro.
I heard good things about the game, but I never played it.
Who developed that game?
Rockstar.
Okay. Because I thought, was it the folks that did Fable? No, it was not. No, Microsoft did Fable. I'm tripping. My bad. Yeah, it was Rockstar. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Microsoft definitely did Fable.
No. Microsoft Studios did Fable.
Same difference.
No,
No, it's not.
Stop.
Microsoft and Microsoft Studios ain't the same thing?
Rockstar and Microsoft.
Rockstar, bro.
Oh, Rockstar and Microsoft Studios is not the same thing? Yeah. I thought you said Microsoft and Microsoft Studios. Like,
nah. My bad.
Rockstar, nah. Rockstar did Bully, bro.
Rockstar is a whole nother monster. What do you mean? Rockstar is a whole nother league.
Yeah.
100.
I'm about to say, you being real disrespectful, Cody.
Respect on my name.
No, I just didn't know what you were saying. I'm sorry.
That's my bad.
But with that being said, however, here's the best part about all this, and I'm glad I saved it. I forgot about it because it's pretty much the best for last. They brought back the Neversoft mechanic.
Yes, Lord.
So
I love Neversoft.
The physics that we saw during the Tony Hawk's 1, 2, 3, and 4 era, we are getting a remastered, much smoother version of that. Because they took the mechanics from that game and rehauled it.
Amen.
Son, it's about to bring back elementary school vibes, bro.
The streets needed this.
And just as you thought the streets needed that? Nah. I need both earphones back on for this, motherfucker. All right. EA announced Skate 4.
All right, now let me say this because I ain't gonna burst your bubble because Skate to me was I couldn't crack it. I was so bad at that game.
I gave up on it with Skate 1. Skate 1 frustrated the hell out of me to the point where I was like, fuck this, I don't want to play it. Skate 2, however, it was a little more simplified. So with Skate 2, I was like, all right, I'm starting to get it now. Plus the fact that Kenneth knew exactly how to play Skate. Because that was the type of game Kenneth was looking for as far as gameplay mechanics go, because Kenneth is a skater. So He lived for the skate game. I honestly think that he preferred the skate games over the Tony Hawk franchise. Me, I'm old school, so Tony Hawk was the first skateboarding game that I know of, so I'm gonna ride for it. However, it's had some stinkers over the years. Most recently, Tony Hawk 5. God, that game was god awful, guys.
Yeah, I heard. I never played that one.
And to give just a sense, Lil Wayne was a hidden character.
Oh,
there you go.
Awful timing. Terrible timing.
Right
Terrible timing. You gotta do that stuff when like the brand is significant and like it was that also around the time you put out Rebirth or nah?
Around that time, yes.
Oh, then never mind. That makes sense then. It makes absolute sense when they do that.
2013. That's when Tony Hawk 5 came out.
Ouch. Big ouch.
Yep. That game was as good as the album that Wayne put out around that time.
And there were a few joints that I liked from that album, but like it was also filled with far too many homophobic slurs in that album. Too many.
Aside the time, sure.
But like Wayne was dropping that word till Carter 4, and like I don't think he ever got like a hint. He never remember when he did that Emmett Till bar and he got like called out in front of the whole nation? Like that never happened when he was like dropping the F-bomb all crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there.
But nonetheless, that Emmett Till line was the line, I guess.
Hey.
Which, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, again, a sign of the times.
And low key, and like it's so funny that like that was the line that like got called out. Yeah, he had like Mrs. Officer, he had the Rodney King bar.
Yeah. Right you are.
No, but like low key,
Rodney King is still alive. That's why.
Oh, is that what? Okay. Plus, like, man, like, Susio boys love Mrs. Officer. Susio boys love Mrs. Officer.
I'm a Susio boy. I'm only partial to Mrs. Officer because Bobby Valentino ruining it with that wheel.
That's the best part of the whole joint. That's the part of the whole joint.
It's not. I love the hook until we get the wheel.
That's the whole point of the whole joint.
I know she did out. And she know I'm the boss.
That hook remind me of the chick from Pen into the Fist. That's what that sounded like. Bobby Valentino was doing very cute. All right.
Listen, whatever.
Hey, in 2020, in 2020, we're not bumming Mrs. Officer. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? We got to retire that joint in 2020.
I played Mrs. Officer like a couple weeks ago. To myself in the house.
If we're being honest, it's been years since we loved the Carter 3 because the Carter 3 was supposed to be so much better than it was.
And yet, it's Wayne's most praised album.
I don't understand why, because the first two were the best two.
Like, I found that hipsters love Carter 2. Hipsters love Carter 2, but like, I remember when we were in high school. When I was in high school, like Carter 3 was the album until like
everybody was in the Carter 3, bro.
I hate Carter 3 because that form of Wayne pissed me off.
You hated Carter 3.
Wow. My thing was the Carter 3 was good, but again, it should have been much better. But it was leaked. I had
that one. Okay. I
had this argument with my cousin Ty. I said that if you had the Carter 3 and its track list, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring it up real quick. Shall we?
Go ahead. Oh
yes. Yes, we shall.
We're gonna be here for a minute.
Not necessarily.
Hey, Los, I'm gonna let you know now, bro. Like, when the clock hits 9:55, I got to get off these AKAs and I got to bounce. You feel me?
I feel you on that.
My girl's like, "Where you at?" And I'm like, "Oh, true."
I definitely feel you on that wholeheartedly. All right,
let's get it.
With 16 songs in that album, right?
Big album, bloated. That's bloated right there.
I said, if you took out a Millie, oh yeah, that's right. If you took out Got Money, Comfortable, oh yeah, and
me?
Pussy Monster. Right? That's 4 tracks.
The hood loves that song. What are you talking about?
But let me tell you what I'm about to replace it with.
All right, go ahead.
I Know the Future. You never heard I Know the Future?
Oh, okay.
Like a circle of
Thank you,
knives
Kenny.
that got the sharpest flow around. I Feel Like Dying.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh.
Burn This City.
I think I know that one, yeah.
I'm still not 100% sure if it was a legitimate track on the Carter 3, but Prostitute.
I don't know. I don't remember.
And
I don't know.
As a bonus, hold on. Yeah.
Oh, we gonna add 17th track. Add a 17th track.
If
Gossip was supposed to be on the Carter 3.
If Gossip made it on Carter 3.
Hold it for now.
The only reason why Gossip was leaked was because he performed it at the BET Awards.
Right.
Oh.
And the BET Awards rendition is the best version.
Wow. That says a lot.
He brought that energy for that performance.
That says a lot.
That shit was a fight song.
But if I'm baking the ziti. That's man. No, boy, Gossip. I hate Gossip.
I gotta say, like,
he brought it at any rate, right? It's 9:52.
Yeah.
We've been here for I'm looking at the clock. We've been on this call for an hour and a half.
I know.
My own show records for an hour and a half. I'm just like, bruh.
Take it in for you. Live via satellite. It is Gorilla Game Podcast. I'm doing it different this evening. I'm gonna kick it to the homie at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead, kick it, Ducky.
Yep.
Look at here. In case you did not know, it's your boy, Chris Kennard, a.k.a. Chris Kennard, a.k.a. say my name twice like I'm from South Korea, dugum, 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 with the onomatopoeia, right? A.k.a. Somebody stop this man, for real.
Where's the buzzer?
A.k.a.
Wow.
Okay. A.k.a. ready for this one? A.k.a. the Glizzy Gobbler.
Oh my God! No, no. Where's the buzzer?
AKA, y'all ready for this? Prepare.
I don't know if I am.
AKA, prepare for trouble and add a McDouble.
Where is it? Where the fuck is it? There it is.
Find it.
AKA,
he's on the roll, guys.
AKA, live on stage with the dilated pupils.
Hey.
Where's the fucking? There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, AKA the Black Anthony Fantano, AKA the Black Narwhal, the Human Serviette, AKA the High Priest of the Friend Zone, AKA
We coded you to pray to get out of the friend zone.
no, hey, this is the realest shit I ever spit. I would not be in the relationship I am in now if I wasn't in the friend zone. My brothers, you gotta play the long game. If you can't spend time with the person you love, as your homie, what are you doing, bro? We 3 years in, and it's I shot my shot, and she laughed in my face, and she's like, "Want to come and watch TV?" And I'm like, "Yeah." 3 years later, and no, and low key, 3 years later,
I got the gun of the applause, but
3 years later, we raised $3,000. We moved in together. Love is a beautiful thing. AKA the CEO of Naptone Records because my follicles stay sleepy. Okay? You feel me?
What's more?
Wow.
And finally, the moment you all been waiting for, aka the Sucio Secretary of State.
Yes!
I'm gonna say that shit again because you hoes didn't hear me the first fucking time. No, for real. I'm gonna say it again because I really be feeling this one. I am the Sucio Secretary of State. This podcast will come in order. No, I'm gonna say this in my bounce because I got things to do and shit. I know Kenny mentioned he got some jokes for y'all, and made me think of my friend, one of my friends from DC. They were in like a one of my favorite comedians from like the DC area. I won't put them on blast, but they were in like a domestic violence situation, so they had to like find a new place to live. And they was like, yo, I'd like to do this, but like I am like hurting financially. And they dropped the Venmo. So I want to do this live on the show. If y'all got Venmo, if you donate to the Venmo, PIKASNOOZE, that's Pika Snooze. You know, these nerds and shit, what they reference is like, that would bless my heart. Like, you ain't, if you broke, like, cause I'm broke, like, post it on your story. That's capital PIKA, capital SNOOZE. Drop $1, $5, whatever you got. Like, post that shit, cause like
anything helps.
Anything helps, yo. And that's one like I want to let my friend know that like I don't stand for like no type of like abuse in any shape or form. So like, and like we as brothers, we really have to step up to the plate because like that young lady in Florida that was 19 years old, Miss Toyin, like being like murdered by like a brother, like after like talking about like what happened to her on like in public during like these protests, like,
and no one listened.
No one, and like, and I'm like, I really do like. I'm not a tough guy. Like I got jokes. I'm very gentle, but like, I really hope that like if I'm confronted with like a black woman or femme or like queer person asking for my help because a black man's acting out of pocket, he's gonna have to meet these hands, bro. Like,
exactly. Exactly. And that
I'm about to send you to God for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's that on that.
You want to say violence isn't the answer, but man, sometimes violence is the only answer.
Can't depend on these feds. We're gonna depend on these hands, okay?
No doubt.
Like I don't carry the peace, but I know folks who do. So like, let's get it together, brothers, for real.
Absolutely, dog. Let's definitely start backing our black woman because I can't stress enough how often I see them getting dogged out here by black dudes, and it don't only be physically, it be verbally too. Like
harassment.
Most think it's cool to be a player still.
That reminds me of a time I was on the bus and an older guy just kept flirting and messing with this younger girl. She couldn't be no older than 14, 15. The dude had to be like 30 something. And I was on the bus I was like, dude, you need to cut it out. She's a baby, okay? She's a baby. You need to leave her alone. He said, who are you coming out? I said, you don't know me, but I'll make sure you'll remember me.
I am my brother's keeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple.
I moved her to the front, and I made sure he did not come by her. She thanked me. She's like, thank you so much. I was like, yeah. It's not acceptable. You can't do that. And I won't let that happen in front of me. No, you can't.
Like, if you don't follow the golden rule, you ain't my friend. So it's that simple.
Bingo. That's simple.
They taught us that in 3rd fucking grade. So like, and I know you like if you sleep in 3rd grade, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like,
I mean, I went to sleep in 3rd grade, and I heard that though.
Yeah, man.
Only thing I remember, like in 3rd grade, I had but one friend, but like I remember all the books we read. Like I remember the teacher. I remember everyone in that class. So like, come on now.
You should have been learning that shit. That's the most important rule.
Straight up. Hey,
with
that said, I'm gone, bro. But like, I'm gonna be back when the summer's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, follow your boy. I'm on YouTube, KRISKENERD. I got a podcast myself. We're about 14 episodes in. I'm like way behind these bros, but I'm gonna catch up. One of these, I'm gonna catch up.
We'll see you at the top, bro.
Yes, indeed. I'm out.
Brody.
Blessings.
Love.
Till next time.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. I'm out of here.
With that being said, I am your empathetic yet foul mouth half of this show, Gaithersburg's favorite son, young raspy god, Carlos Crawford, a.k.a. jumping off a 50-foot ladder and elbow dropping in the Vince Black man into a trash can. It's Chin Music Charlie, a.k.a. Thick Flair. I spent more money on Spilt Blues with Carmella Clutch last Sunday evening sitting on my lap than you made in the last 6 months. That's right. A.K.A. Snack Miller. We keep it going to the press stop. I'm breaking records so we rhyme. Love you scared to say a prayer. Put it on the Holy Bible. Better hold a microphone like how a soldier hold a rifle. It's a young snack. I've been there, been done that. Went away and come back with a motherfucking vengeance. I'm collecting. A.K.A. Gelato Graham. The way this country is going, I say the league manufacture helmets with filtration face masks. Or gas mask, as I prefer.
Oh. Go ahead.
A.K.A. Ricky Spanglish. I haven't heard from him since he scammed me on one of them put $5 in and get $5,000 Instagram schemes. You see him, you tell him I better never see his ass again. Ricky Spanglish.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome stuff. All right, Kitty, you do whatever feels natural. I'm just gonna, because I didn't give you the heads up.
What? Oh, for Haystack. I was calling Papa. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. But basically, we're robbing the bank. So go. How you feel? I'm gonna just leave a blank space for you to talk.
Okay.
AKA Haystack West. All right, everyone, get their hands up. It's a robbery. Anyone inconvenience us is getting their head blown off. You unlock the safe. Don't let a combination. Well, let's see how fast you can come up with it then. 1, I don't know it. 2, 56, 46, 22. We remember fast as hell, didn't we?
That's a genius if I ever seen one.
Absolutely. All right, we're in. Gentlemen, let's start collecting. I believe the lady is just fine on her own out there. You're damn right I am. I've taken a good 3,000 on my own. Yeah, old man, you probably haven't seen this much money since mom robbed you. Just about. This is the St. Clark Police Department. Come out with your hands up or we will start shooting.
Well, we've been shooting before we even got in here, so...
Moose, go ahead and introduce yourself to these people.
While we riding our way out of this bank with all this stolen goods, it's your boy. My name is Kenneth Whitaker, a.k.a. Hendrix Solo, the original owner of the Millennial Falcon. I fly this thing better than anybody's seen in this whole galaxy. And I dare somebody to try me at a Kessel run. Wrong side of that, but that's cool.
One more time for good measure.
Wrong side of that, but that's cool. The last Black Jedi.
Fuck it, we're doing it backwards. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, doing it backwards. Dude, there's no try. Like, you try me, I'll make sure my Jedi mind tricks work expeditiously.
Let's also add to the fact that it doesn't just oppose anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, the lightsaber seems very right with how dark the last Black Jedi is.
Pretty much. Doesn't matter to me. I always find my way on top. AKA Nacho Man, I'm a savage. Ooh, yeah, see, everybody always wondering at what time the Nacho Man's going to appear, but the Nacho Man doesn't make scheduled appearances.
No, he
He
doesn't.
only shows up when he needs to, yeah. So when you see the Nacho Man in your vicinity, you better be prepared to go through the most excruciating pain they ever felt, Mean Gene. Because there's one
Absolutely.
thing I know, two things for certain. The Nacho Man's always controlling every hole that comes behind the curtain. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nacho Man, I'm a Savage, live from Gorilla Position.
This
How
chicken
that
has no
works,
lorries
I'm
on
not
it
sure. Back to you, Gorilla.
yet. This chicken has no lorries on it. AKA the American scheme busted rules. Now everybody knows that the great American scheme, is always eating his way to the top. Without a dime with kings and queens and that alley and pork and beans. And the one thing you gotta understand about the American scheme busted rules is that he's always got a nice piece of chicken ready to go. And Thick Flair, if you think you can come close to the busted one, if you think you're ready for a fight, Big Daddy, I got a fight for you. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, the American Dream busted rolls will always be prepared to go to the buffet forever. Woo! Oh, I just made that up off the top of my head.
I might gotta go rogue for the last back half.
I got that. I am great. That is great. Yeah, let's start this Thick Flair Busty Rhodes war.
We may got to. Like, I've been trying to keep my bits short, but
got to, bro.
I gotta cut promos now. Okay.
You gotta cut a promo. AKA the very sexual, the very tight.
Very tight, yes.
Austin Powers Faja.
Wait, is Faja?
Dad is Faja.
Oh.
Peace? Oh! Oh.
Hey, no, they're beating the dog shit out of each other. No, I ain't gonna lie to you. You would have think Austin had the advantage. I think many people was fucking Austin Powers up.
He was. Hey, yo. Oh, man. That is hilarious.
He sent that motherfucker to the moon and shit.
Yeah.
Poor little fucker. I salute you.
I salute you. AKA Mr. Go. AKA Mr. Go Slick Vodka. How are things going with you and the ladies, McLovin? It's not the going I'm worried about. It's coming. I get it. They go like blah. Oh my gosh. So many quotables in that movie.
So many. Like we've scratched the surface hard, but there's still more where we can still, and then all of it's like reusable. Like
yes, it's all reusable. Doesn't matter how many times you heard it.
It's still gold.
There you go. AKA Vincent Kennedy Black Man. Damn it. You people in your Austin chants, do you know how much I hate Austin? They understand that I am in control of the WWF. And there is no chance in hell that Stone Cold Steve Austin leaves fully loaded with the WWF Championship.
What?
Damn it, Austin!
What?
You're not supposed to be here! Security!
Shut the hell up, son!
Where's security? I'm your boss!
You're not the boss of a damn thing! You don't have control over a damn thing! As you can see, this company's already gone to hell! Why? Because you say that you're running an entire company, but you can't run a damn thing, so you can't even walk. And that's the bottom line. What? Because Stone Cold, I said Stone Cold said so.
Damn it. Don't you lay a finger on me. I will fire your ass.
I'll lay 2 then.
Oh, goodness. We are back. Some of these stunners are getting harder and harder for me to do, Carlos. I don't know how much longer I can do it. Getting harder.
You brought back Vince Black, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's getting harder to get up from these.
You gave me an ultimatum. You gave me an ultimatum. So in turn, I gave you a caveat.
No, I gave you the caveat.
No, I gave you the ultimatum. No, I mean, you gave me the ultimatum. It was either Vince Blackman or Bill Cosby. In which I was like, fine, we'll bring back Vince Blackman, but somehow, some way, he must be stopped. And then on a whim, I found the Stone Cold glass break as a sound effect. And that was the birth of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Whatever. Until I figure out a new AKA to Vince Blackman, I guess I just gotta keep taking stunners. Because I can always beat Triple H.
God damn it, you're right. You could. Ugh.
I am the game.
I'd probably be Chris Jericho then, but I don't know what I'd use for split
Just
Jericho.
in case you have forgotten, let me remind you just who the hell I am.
Break down the blind of Jericho.
Break down the blunt of Jericho.
Welcome to Jericho.
Welcome to Raw Papers. Hit Jericho.
Yeah.
The Stoned Heart, Chris Jericho. Stoned Heart. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious, bro. Oh my goodness. All this wrestling talk. Speaking of wrestling.
The Undisputed Chiefer.
Undisputed Chiefer. Don't you wish you could be the king of Bloody? Don't you want to be the bone raspberry?
I'm trying to remember how Judas went.
I have blown this high on the inside. I have rolled a blunt Bob Marley size, and I'll inhale it down and blow it out. O's all day. I am cold because I'm super stoned.
Oh no!
And I
just imagine Sammy Guevara singing that shit off key.
We can't bring that man up, bro. You
I
can't.
know, that's why I did the buzzer.
Probably not. Jesus Christ. Things are getting out of hand in the rest of the community, bro.
Quite. Sure.
Things are getting hand. What I will say, one thing that I was happy about, but also not happy about at the same time.
Oh boy.
WWE Backstage got canceled.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. So I was happy about that. I'm not happy that Renee Young has COVID.
Yeah, I'm very, very nervous for her. Hey, like, that's the thing, man. Motherfuckers be like, it's all fun and games until somebody they know or love. Now, and I've been, saying that's just serious. Even Kayla Braxton, I think it said it herself. She was like, you can get that shit again.
Yeah.
And she's not the first person that said it, but she's the most recent. So it's like the fact that that people like, I'm saying that there are doctor's notes for people to not have to wear masks. I'm like, yo, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Like, you are endangering the lives of others just so you can be comfortable with yourself. Like, that's wild, fucked up, it's selfish, it's self-centered. And that goes to show what this country is about. Like, this country only cares about themselves.
I'm not wasting my time about the country only caring about themselves. We'll be here all day going night.
Yeah, we probably would.
Talk about that. That's not the thing.
At any rate, I wonder if we could take a whole bunch of wrestler names and make like a weed promotion for wrestling.
A weed promotion?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the Smack League.
So SmackDown is called Smack.
SmackDown is called Smacked Out.
Raw Papers. Let's see.
Raw Papers, WWE. Who passed that? Hit that next.
the main 4 pay-per-views is Stoner Mania, Roll Up Rumble, Smokeout Series, and
what's the 4th one? I forget it. Royal Rumble.
Extendoslam.
Extendoslam.
Yeah, that's right.
Smacked Out Extendoslam.
Smack presents Extendoslam. Smack the Raw Papers presents Extendoslam. Brought to you by Khalifa Kush.
Have another purple.
Brought to you by Grow Brothers.
Smack presents Burnouts.
Wiz Khalifa does the title song, yeah.
Smack presents Bong Breaker.
I watch the fuck out of that.
Bong Breaker.
The pyros actual smoke and shit. But it's sativa smoke, so nobody ain't getting sleepy.
Right. But I also heard another rumor about my backstage being canceled, that Fox sold the contract talent to WWE.
Well, what does that mean? Could come back under WWE and we probably never get CM Punk ever again? Is that what that means?
No. On the contrary, what that means is CM Punk was a Fox employee. And since Fox sold their contracts to WWE, WWE is now his employer again.
Life is funny sometimes,
If that is indeed a fact that Fox sold all their talent contracts to WWE, that means CM Punk is on the contract.
A CM Punk comeback is feasible now. I'm not going to say possible. I'm going to say the theory of one is feasible.
Yep.
Because I'm still ruling out the fact that he's ever going to come back as a.
Because that's what was separating him from all the rest of the talent. It's like he wasn't getting paid by Vince. Well, now he is. Well, if that's the truth, I don't know. I don't know how accurate it is.
And he's probably going to quit or something unless he's contracted. Then yikes, big yikes, huge yikes, gargantuan yikes.
Yep. But he'll find. I feel like he'll find a way out of it, though.
More than likely, yeah. I wouldn't doubt that either. Another idea I've come up with. I came up with this idea last night as I was falling asleep. I was like, "Yo, I know I'm going to forget this idea, so I need to write it down." So. Before episode 100, right? We're at 97 currently, correct?
Correct.
So within the next 2 episodes, I want to do another draft episode,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Here's a stipulation. We have the lot of wrestlers past and present. Hell, we'll even throw in future.
Okay.
All right? You have to draft a roster from that pool.
Okay.
Now, what I want to do is, all right?
Find somebody to make a draft board and put that in the background.
Exactly. That's one thing. That's one way I want to do it. I want a third show. So you would have one show, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
I take the opposite show, and whoever we can bring in as a third and or fourth, we have them run the third show together.
Or if it's just the third, they can run it the third.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll see if I can get Juan to do that.
So how we'll do it is we'll draft a roster, let's call it a 30-person roster. All right, 15 men, 15 women.
Okay.
Then you have to be wary of the division of these superstars that you're picking up, because how we're going to do it is we're going to do the draft and the pre-show, and then on the main show we're going to do a card with those 3 shows. We're going to debate over who wins these triple threat matches, all in all, but they're not all like regular schmegler triple threat matches. Some are regular ones, some are tag team triple threat matches, some are like, themed triple threat matches, so like a cage or like a Hell in a Cell or Extreme Rules, so on and so forth. Anything that would be a niche, something that a specialist would be able to handle, and you pick them for that shit like that. Your women's match, so on and so forth.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
I was like, you've done it again, Olos.
Sound like we'll be going all night long.
Do.
I wanna give it to you.
Actually, you might be right. So here's what I'm gonna say then. We could do it one of 2 ways then, because pre-show, if that's the case, might be a little long.
Might be a little long.
Because it's 90 superstars that we're drafting, and then we have to think. So what we need to do is we need to figure out our pool, who we want in our queue. That way we got a draft list. We'll know who we want to pick up, who's on our draft list, like who's on, our watch list, so on and so forth. We're actually going to do research, and we're going to actually draft it out and try to be as quick as possible about it, because I don't want motherfuckers to just be waiting 3-5 minutes and shit, or just be like, I got fucking I want to as least as possible on my behalf personally. So so what I'm suggesting is that you choose out who you want, your main picks, your sleeper picks, your picks that no one would think of, your gems. Who would you want as your centerpiece for the show, so on and so forth.
I mean, but that's gonna be a little hard, because if we're going to the pool and that person gets picked and you don't have that many people, you know what I'm saying? You gotta It's 90 superstars.
Again, past, present, and future. It's impossible to.
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it. Because you gotta look at it like this, Kenny. We've been begging for a GM mode with 70, 80 person rosters in WWE video games for the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're only picking 90 people all in all. And how many generations of wrestling? I'm talking about from the 40s and 50s to now and developmental. Oh, yeah. Developmental talent will be very reasonable to pick because, again, you're trying to build a company and you have to have a, future talent in order to hold the torch in the company for the show in later years. That's the concept of it. So a torch holder, if you will.
All right.
I already got a couple of those in mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Cheating already.
Like I said, it's going to be a very good episode. Like, or what we also could do is a football draft or an NBA draft. But it would be much easier to do wrestling because it's multiple shows, and multiple shows will be able to participate in one fight each. Whereas we'd have to figure out games between 3 teams.
Yeah, that's
fucking lot. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Exactly.
So, we could do an all-time team or something like that, maybe.
That's still too much.
So yeah, that would be a little bit too much.
Actually, that's even more. That's even worse.
Well,
you have to go through each decade of a team and pick a player each decade. Take that.
I wouldn't be against that. Again, that's what the draft, that the watch list is for. That way we're saving time. We know who we want, and if somebody that we want gets picked, we have a backup of who we want.
And a backup for your backup.
It's like fantasy drafting. If you know how to fantasy draft, which I barely do well.
But I say you can't talk about
half the reason why I retired from fantasy draft.
I say you can't talk about fantasy draft. You retired.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to come out of it, I can add you back in the league.
Nah, I'm not coming out of it. I'm just gonna stink up the place. So.
Well, Carlos, if you pay attention a little more, just a little bit, you might be all right.
I pay quite a bit of attention. All right. I don't have any luck of any draw. That's what that is. Especially the last time I played fantasy football, my computer kept freezing, and I kept auto picking. And even when I try to queue up players for auto pick to pick them up automatically, motherfuckers would pick them. And before I can even try to think of who else I want to pick up, my computer would freeze again, and that shit would unfreeze, or I'd have to log back on to the fantasy draft with 3 people, 3 picks after me and shit. And I fucked around and draft somebody that's out for the entire season. So yeah, no. That's when I was like, you know what, I'm over it. And that was a fantasy draft where we actually had money on the line. And for a while I refused to pay Joe back.
I mean, you won't have that problem now with the new laptop. I think.
You would think, but I'm not gonna risk it.
Hey. Even on the phone, they would do that? You ain't draft on the phone? You know you could do that, right? If it's on ESPN. I don't know about other sites though. I don't know if you can do that on the other stuff.
It all comes down to this: hit and miss Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I can see where that's a problem.
Right.
If the Wi-Fi's bad, man, everything's gonna be bad, bro. Like it ain't no escaping that.
Oh yeah, but so
yeah.
Apparently, let's shop this fable, Kenny. You saw the picture.
I saw the picture.
You saw the picture. I know you saw the picture.
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
Picture of what?
That's what I'm about to ask. Was it or was it not, Kenny?
What?
Was it or was it not?
Oh. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, it was.
Oh, it most certainly was, Kenny. It was definitely a noose.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. No doubt in my mind. That was a noose.
Yeah, that's definitely a noose.
My thing is this, Kenny. I work in a workplace where we have garage doors.
Right.
And those garage doors, Kenny, aren't noosed. They're ropes.
Right.
They're regular ropes.
Somebody had to tie that.
It had to have been done, first and foremost. Well, that's the obvious, right?
Right.
My issue is this. The fact that people are still arguing the fact that it isn't a noose, it's it's what its purpose is for, so on and so forth. Well, first of all, I call bullshit on that. Second of all, why I call it bullshit, and I'm not trying to sound like, extra or anything like that, but why I think, that theory is bullshit should be reasonable.
Right.
And the reason why people are arguing this down is because they don't deem it reasonable that it could possibly be seen as a noose.
I don't understand people, bro. Like, you trying to defend the fact it's a noose, bro. Like, it is what it is. It's called a spade. Like,
that's where I'm at, calling a spade, because here's my thing, right? There are certain things that you just, if not can't, shouldn't debate.
Right.
And one of those things, by and large, is racism. Racism should never be debated. If you are debating racism, chances are you're a racist because you are advocating for racism. And whether you're advocating for racism or playing devil's advocate, that's another thing. The devil doesn't need an advocate. So,
indeed,
I don't want to hear devil's advocate to racism, first and foremost. Second of all, people try to dog whistle their way into saying it's not about racism.
Wow. People just trying to get over. Like, I don't understand people. Like, you know what it is, man. Like, don't be in here acting like it's not what it is. Like, come on.
telling people that it isn't what they think it is, and that, you know, they shouldn't be worried about it because there hasn't been anything like that in years. First and foremost,
we just saw a man get lynched a couple weeks ago.
Not just one, multiple.
Indeed.
And the reason why they're not considering it lynches is because they ruled them suicides. And I legitimately cannot think. And I know that I've gone on record in saying that I'm running out of memory space to remember names, but I legitimately can't think of anybody that, or any black person at least, that has committed suicide by hanging from a tree. That's bullshit, and you know it. That's the part that frustrates me. Because if you knew better, you do better. But y'all motherfuckers know better and refuse to fucking do better. That's the part that frustrates the hell out of me. And the other thing that frustrates me is the fact that, no wait, I believe I already covered that. So yeah, my main line, baseline, bottom line is that I'm simply just going to call a spade and just demand that you admit that you don't care for black people. Because, again, this shouldn't be some shit we should be arguing. Like, sports, music even.
Yeah, those are things you can argue.
Those are things you can argue down because it's like, you know, such a wide range of it that you can't really pin down what's the best for, you know, everybody.
Right.
I saw there was a post that I shared on Facebook, actually. I'll look for it real quick. And it brought an excellent point. Well, there's been a few posts that I brought an excellent point too, at any rate. But no, that's not it. 2 jobs. No, that's not it. Kenny looks like Mayhem Loren.
That's not funny.
That's hilarious. That's fucking hysterical.
No,
shout out to Mike. He a fool.
Speaking of which, I don't like that y'all compare me to dude with glasses.
All right, so
there's literally no resemblance but the big glasses. None whatsoever.
That was hysterical. So the post says, if you want a friendly debate, I highly recommend the following topics. Are hot dog sandwiches? Do straws have 1 hole or 2? Cake or pie? If intellectual rigor is your jam, point your intellect at topics that do not invalidate the humanity of other people. Right. And that's just the point I'm trying to get across to motherfuckers. Like, y'all want to be right so bad that that other people's humanity is not your regard. You, especially the people that bring up numbers and stats and shit, they see people as numbers, and that pisses me off even more because you don't even see people as people that had, you know, wives, families, husbands, brothers, sisters, parents, like family, friends. Y'all don't see people as that. Y'all see them as the stereotypes that y'all grew up believing. And that, there we go. I'm glad I circled around. That's another thing that frustrates me. People already have a perception of black people by those stereotypes. And you know what those stereotypes are.
Yeah. Indeed.
Most of them always coming back to black on black crime. Which is a tired ass rhetoric.
I hate that.
Because for you to bring up, once again, for you to bring up black on black crime is racist. Because that tells me that you are willing to bring, a turmoil between interracial, intraracial turmoil that stems from, the fucked up economics that we have been bestowed upon.
And people bring up black on black crime like white on white crime is not a thing. Like,
people bring up black on black crime like white kids haven't shot up schools and theaters over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that frustrates me even more. We bring up black on black crime, completely disregarding the number of school and theater shootings and
or
church shootings.
Yeah.
That there have been in the last 5 years.
Dylan Roof.
In the last 65 years, closer to the civil rights era.
Dylan Roof. This man went into the church, prayed with them. Then after he prayed with them, shot them up.
Like,
and I think that was the one that they like took the Burger King before. They took him to the thing.
Yeah, they took him to Burger King because he was hungry. I guess you gain an appetite after shooting up a church.
Let that have been a black person. Ain't gonna be no nothing. You getting shot, and that's that.
They're not even getting arrested. Like right. they're getting shot the moment police bust in. Like that's what it all boils down to. So it's like that black on black crime rhetoric. It's just absolute bullshit. Because at the end of the day, the black person that committed that crime, they're going to jail, and or getting shot.
Correct.
One way or another. Then on top of that, we don't talk about the white on black crime because 9 times out of 10 is from police. And that's just what we see in media. So if we see that shit, if media is putting that on display, and I know that media can be some lying motherfuckers on a pretty consistent basis. However, there's still truth to journalism. And I can't stress that enough. There is still truth to journalism. However, the reason why that journalism is being, I guess you'd say under attack by revisionist history and, revisionist history is Trump's whole fake news campaign. That blew the credibility of journalism. When credible news sources are being considered fake news, legitimate news sources that are unbiased are being considered fake news. And they're just calling it down the line and calling it for what it is. And people are gullible enough to eat that up. And as we said in pre-show, I don't know if we recorded it or not, but gullibility breeds stupidity. Or stupidity is gullibility's manager.
First cousin
even. So, that's, half the reason why. Then not only that, outside of the country, you have, different countries, I guess you could say, meddling in our business.
Correct.
I'm still on the fence on that by crime, I guess you could say. But we know for a fact that the election was rigged. And we know that Trump was talking cash shit about Putin at first, but became buddy with him all of a sudden.
All right.
So it's again, a spade's a spade. At any rate, I just feel like people don't take our word for things because they want to so badly think that the media is turning everybody into sheep, and everything that anybody says that they don't think is, I guess they're being herded by media. And it's like, it's not a matter of thinking for yourself. It's a matter of seeing right from wrong. And I was telling somebody I know that shit, and the one dude that was complaining about people tearing down the statues, saying that those statues are part of history, and good or bad, they need to stay up because it's a reminder of this country's history. And
don't want to remember that history.
In which my response is, losers don't get the trophies. First and foremost. Second of all,
we're not giving out participation trophies for racism.
Second of all, we should be learning that in school in the first place, and shame on them for whitewashing that history. Maybe they should tell the truth. Let's go there. Then on top of that, it's like the Confederacy lasted from 1860 to 1865. First and foremost. Second of all, the flag that we know and hate today wasn't their main flag. It was a one-off flag. They found the flag before they surrendered.
Yep.
So that flag is if that's a flag of heritage, the heritage is in fact hate. All right.
Indeed.
And I don't consider 5 years a heritage. Shit, Outcast lasted longer than the Confederacy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want a statue of Outcast, preferably in the Stankonia poses.
Right. I seen that today on Twitter. That was hilarious.
I second this.
I might have seen that from you.
More than likely. My point is, if you're gonna post a statue, first of all, the concept of a statue is glorification anyway.
Right.
So for you to put up a statue of a Confederate,
the New Day has lasted longer than the Confederacy. They've been together 6 years.
Exactly. We're about to last longer than the Confederacy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Sorry. It's not
so
joking.
like
You're being serious. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the fact of the matter is that I don't buy that whole, we need to know, we need to learn all history of the country, good and bad. Yeah, but we should be learning that in school instead of it being glossed over.
Right.
That's the point. That's the point of school. And if you're taking away the point of school, you have dumbasses like these out here arguing down motherfuckers that actually paid attention and actually delved deeper into research because they just either had a gut feeling that there was more to the story or that they read something and they themselves went, that's not what I learned in school. And they had to go and learn it. They had to learn it over again for themselves. I'm one of those people. I've spent countless hours delving deep into random ass history. As I said, in 2 episodes ago, some of the videos that are on YouTube is history.
Yeah, I have them all history. And this is the thing that gets me, and I was mentioning this to my mom the other day. It's like they're whitewashing everything. Yes, we got the country's attention. Okay, they're trying to do some stuff. But they doing everything but taking care of what we want. And that's police reform. Like they taking off Aunt Jemima's off the off the syrup box. They getting rid of Splash Mountain.
They're doing everything but what we really want.
They making white actors stop voicing black characters. They're like not letting championships be held in Mississippi or states with the Confederate flag. Okay, all that is cool. We appreciate it. But the main thing that we talking about, y'all not doing nothing about. So like, yeah, all that stuff is well and good. But like,
what
that
about,
ain't why we here.
What about what we want?
Right.
Like, y'all know what we want. Give us what we want.
Like Batista said, give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want.
Give us what we want. I'm not giving
you anything, Dad. Give me what I want.
So, circling back to the Bubba Wallace situation.
Right.
I find it absolutely offensive that people are willing to argue down what it was and what it wasn't, because whether it was what it was or what it wasn't, we want you to understand why we think it was a noose. And for you to completely disregard the history of the usage of noose, especially in America, then I have no reason not to call you a racist, because you just completely disregard the eradication or the semi-eradication of black people from the 1660s to, let's see,
right, further back than that.
Last month or earlier this month.
Yeah, probably further back.
So, yeah, probably even further back. But I'm thinking of when, the slave trade was up and running. And I'm trying to consider time between that. You know what I'm saying? Right. At any rate, at any time and token, it's still going on today. Nobody talks about it because people think that since they ruled it a suicide, that's that on that. And honestly, that just speaks to the fact that you don't care enough to be like, wait, there's got to be more to that. Because if somebody, like case in point, people still delve into that JonBenet Ramsey case. Think about that. So I don't want to hear any of that bullshit like, it was ruled a suicide, get over it. No, the fuck I won't get the fuck over it. Fuck you. All right? Because, again, historically speaking, motherfuckers literally will string us up because they don't like how we looked at them.
Yeah. So
you can kiss every square inch of my ass about that shit, about getting over that shit. I won't get over it. Because, again, we don't commit suicide by hanging ourselves.
Here's a history lesson. And you probably know this anyway. I'm sure you know this. And y'all, and people have probably heard this story anyway. Young black man. Classic story. Everybody should know this story by now. But I'm just reiterating this story.
Because it's poignant.
And how it is still relevant today. Young man by name Emmett Till. And by those two words alone, you should know this story.
People disregard the story.
Murdered and hung and burned for whistling at a white woman. Or heard him go, These white men found this boy, hang him, burn him. It is so bad that his face is totally disfigured, and his mom's like, "We have open casket, right?"
The world needs to see what they did to my baby.
Yep. Years and years go down. The lady who accused the boy on her deathbed said she lied. And as Dave Chappelle put it, the whole black people was like, "You lying bitch."
But on the other side of the fence, as Chappelle also said,
yes,
if that didn't happen, the whole civil rights movement would have been completely prolonged.
Yep.
Everything. I mean, Kennedy and MLK briefly collabing together before Kennedy got shot, to the riots happening after MLK got shot, giving us the civil rights. That's another thing. Rioting literally gives us what we want. So fuck you on that count. And not only that, we're not the ones even rioting. Dicks. So,
correct.
Everything in between that, we've had to endure not only police killing us, but hosing us, feeding us to dogs, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And most notably, fashionably in the South, hanging us like, and I say this in a very familiar sense, low-hanging fruit.
This country literally honors J. Edgar Hoover.
And fuck him too, because he literally tried to get MLK to kill himself.
Yeah.
So fuck him. And it's like this country's history is, I guess you could say, largely embedded in that entire fiasco. And what really pisses me off even further is that those same people that, was complaining that, it's not a noose, it's a bull rope, yada yada, what have you. Now they're calling this motherfucker Jussie Smollett. In which that infuriates the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that is tough.
Because again,
that should piss you off.
That once again tells me that you completely disregard our fear of what that symbolizes.
Right. And to call this man Jussie Smollett like he made it up after seeing picture proof.
Right. Then we got, that's the crazy part. We got the actual fucking picture of it. The picture actually surfaced on the shit. And there's still motherfuckers that were on the thread like, this picture's Photoshop. Like, bro, man, just say you don't care for black people, man.
The only thing that's Photoshop is your mind. If you think that is not a noose.
Fuck, I'm past that. Just say you don't care for black people. But at that point, you don't want to believe that shit. You refuse to believe it. Because you're so, stuck in your beliefs. And again, those beliefs being stereotypes that y'all perpetuate. Because for real, the whole, men leaving the family and single mothers and gang violence and all that shit that's negative within the black community, is prevalent today, but it's not as it was, years ago. It's much better. Yes, there's still gang violence. And at this point, it's time we chalk it up and say that there'll always be gang violence, because in theory, the police is a gang. So they're the biggest gang in America, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So gang violence, yes, that is a major issue, but that's not only black people. It's not consistent. It's pinned on black people because, again, it's the stereotype that we are thugs. So there's that stereotype. The stereotype of us, not being family men, in which, again, sadly mistaken, because I know plenty of good fathers. My older brother, both of my brothers are good fathers. And they're black men. So I like for people to like try to give me that bullshit. If we were in public and they said that shit, I would literally throttle the fuck out of you. Like, because at this point, I don't have the patience for people anymore. So, you know, anybody that say some shit like that, first of all, you're obviously saying it to, you know, get under my skin. And honestly, that's a mistake. Period. Like, the thing is, nobody, you know, takes my word for anything. But, yo, I have a lot of pent up anger in me. And if I get into a fight and I get any type of upper hand, I'm going to jail. I can't stress this enough. Like, I can't stress this enough without sounding crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. Like, I'm calm. I'm usually chill and mellow. That's because I'm always high. There's a reason why. Because I'm high strung when I'm sober. And you can even catch shades of, you know, high strung me when I get passionate about arguments or when Kenny trolls me. So it's like, I don't have like that whole like little person complex where, you know, I try to fight motherfuckers and I get my ass beat. No, I can actually fucking fight. I can fight, and I know how to slap on any submission known to man. Any. And that includes MMA.
I'm too fast.
Try me if you want.
I'm too fast for you. You're not going to catch me.
You say that now. Don't let me get a hold of your wrist. It's over. I'm snapping something.
I'm kicking.
That's what it's all about, buddy. Wrist
control. You grab my wrist, I'm kicking you in the balls.
Honestly, I've always had a defense against my balls and my throat because they are very vulnerable areas. I still haven't figured out how to guard my knee because that is a weak spot. My knee might be at my Achilles heel. So that being said, I'm going to tell you which knee it is.
I'm just going to kick both. Bang, bang. And black men is usually the left knee. So I'm just going to kick
that backfired.
Wow.
that was the answer to the trick question. It's both.
I'm not going to tell you which knee. It's both. Bang, bang.
At any rate. So it's like, and that's another thing. I'm going to want to snatch something of yours to ensure that I win that fight. That's the only way I consider a W at this point because motherfuckers get their ass beat and say that they didn't lose the fight or some shit like that. Like, motherfuckers don't be man enough to admit that they lost a fight. So if I snap something, it's evident that you lost. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At any rate, so and that's another reason why I don't go out and protest. And I actually went to the grand opening of Cinnaholic. Son, that joint is to die for. To die for, Kenny. If you like a good cinnamon bun, you gotta go. I gotta take you there one day.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. At any rate, I went to the grand opening of that or whatever. I met up with my homegirl Nina, and she, you know, goes out and protests, and you know, she's been, you know, trying to talk me into going out there and doing it, and it's like I acknowledge the fact that the protests have been peaceful, but my thing is, on a whim, rubber bullets, tear gas, any of that shit can fly. And I'm a reactory person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm going to do nothing but become another statistic that somebody can rightfully argue that he was wilding the fuck out. See what I mean? I want to be an example of motherfuckers that are against the movement are proving. So, and that's all I'm going to be. I'm just going to be an inconvenience to the movement if I go out there and protest. And I know it. Because, again, I honestly don't think sometimes. I just react.
You're going to be one of them people in Atlanta?
You know, so it's like if, you know, I get tear gas tossed at me or some shit like that, like, I'm going to try to toss the tear gas back with the intention of hitting the cop. So, and like, then at that point, I'm getting bum rushed. I'm getting my ass put in a crippled crossface. Before I know it, I'm a memory. And I don't want that. I'm actually starting to enjoy life to a certain extent. So I want to see what it has in store for a little while. So like that shit just ain't for me. And I wish it was for me, but like she's one of those people that could, you know, calm people down and shit. Once I'm riled the fuck up, man, I'm ready for war.
Man, I feel you. That's why I don't go out there either, because I don't be wanting to get caught up and like I get angry. Then next thing you know, yeah, I'm gonna be talking about say his name.
Exactly. Say his name, Kenny Whitaker. It's like we shouldn't have to do that. Right. And I'm be tight if we have to say your name in a hashtag.
Right.
So, as well as I'm gonna find myself. Actually, honestly, I think I'm probably going to be like a ghost on Earth.
Jesus Christ.
The fucking worst, but I'm too good for hell. But I'm gonna end up having like I'll be tight that I become a hashtag. Like so upset, but it'd be necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like and I bet there are plenty of those. There are plenty of those names that they're in heaven now, like sick because they're like, yo. To them, it felt like no reason.
Right.
Especially Breonna Taylor, she woke up in heaven.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine going to sleep thinking, I have a shift in a couple hours, and you wake up at the pearly gates. You're going to wonder what happened.
Right.
You're going to have some questions. So, like, this world needs to be more empathetic. That's what the point is. And I try to be more empathetic, but people really piss me off because they really try to push their bullshit agendas, and those agendas are hateful, one way or another. I guess you can say that in my final thought.
Yeah, and you know this thing went so fast, didn't even know it was that time, but you know.
Yeah, it's been a pretty long episode, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can really say anything else to piggyback what you said. I mean, all this is pretty much relevant for today. I personally am looking into some books to read, so I started reading a little bit of that W.E.B. Du Bois book, Souls for Black Folks. I'm gonna buy it off Amazon soon. But I just got the little sample of it, right? But hold on, I'm gonna look at what it said. It was something in there that I really liked. And I was like, dang. And it's crazy because it's still relevant today. And W.E.B. Du Bois wrote this book many years ago. Hopefully it can come up on my phone while I'm still on here.
I don't know, Kenny, but I'm crossfaded as hell, so I need you to.
I mean, I'm waiting for it to load up. Okay.
Actually, let me go ahead and level out. That's what we'll do. All right. As you were.
All right. So in this part, he says he's pretty much talking about the Negro problem and about how Negroes are feeling, black folks at this time. And it said he felt the weight of his ignorance, not simply of letters, but of life, of business, of the humanities. The accumulated sloth and shrinking and awkwardness of decades and centuries shackled his hands and feet. Nor was his burden all poverty or ignorance, the red stain of bastardry, which 2 centuries of systematic legal defilement of Negro women has stamped upon his race, meant not only the loss of ancient African chastity, but also the hereditary weight of mass corruption from white adulterers threatening almost the obliteration of the Negro home. Like Jesus. And then he says, men call the shadow a prejudice and learnedly explain it as the natural defense of culture against barbarism, learning against ignorance, purity against crime, the higher against the lower races, to which the Negro cries amen and swears that too so much of this struggle prejudice as is founded on just homage to civilization, culture, righteousness, and progress. He humbly bows and meekly does up saints. But before the nameless prejudice that leaps beyond all this, he stands helpless, dismayed, and well nigh speechless before the personal disrespect and mockery and the ridicule of systematic humiliation, the distortion of fact, and wanton license of fancy, the cynical ignoring of better and boisterous welcoming of the worst, and all-pervading desire to inculcate disdain for everything black. And all this is just in the first chapter.
All right, so here's my thing, right? All those words I am able to define, I cannot contextualize.
Yeah, because I kind of read it out of context. But see, for me to try to read all that in context, it's like so much because you just have to read it. Because, bruh.
There was a book that my childhood friend Q put me onto, but I forgot the name of the goddamn book. I'm trying so hard to remember it. It's something along the lines of like where the river flows, but I know it's not exactly what that's called. So I'm trying to find like the goddamn DM I had with him. It was so fucking long ago. I'm losing this match right now. And on top of that, it's like the book was on my old phone. This long ago? Shit. I don't think it was. Fuck. Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
Watching his thinking process.
I think I was there. I swear. Damn it. No, I can't find it.
Do the monkey with it. Come on.
I'm real sad about that. Because goddamn, it was a good book, man. Because basically the premise of the book was the author he basically gives you a set of anecdotes and stories and personal stories that taught him valuable lessons in life. And every story has a valuable lesson that he drives home at the end of the story. So that way, if the lesson was lost upon you at the end of the story, by the end of the story, he basically tells you, the main point of the main moral of the story. And a lot of these stories I don't remember by heart, but I remember the lessons that they taught me. And they legitimately shaped me into a better person. It was one of the tools that shaped me into a better person. God's still working on me, but that improved me as a person. So shout out to Q for that. But yeah, I'm glad you're getting in the books. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers don't read anymore. We Chris said this earlier. You too. Motherfuckers don't read.
I said it.
I'm guilty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna come clean. I don't read anymore. I don't read much anymore. Why? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I have this thing where I fall asleep reading.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers are popping goddamn fireworks at 11 o'clock at night. Sons of bitches.
Bro, that was my final thought. It's just time for a change, bro. And it's been time.
Well, don't be one of those woke motherfuckers and get one of those woke ass woke books like The Art of War, 48 Laws of Power and shit.
Nah, I'm reading black literature, bro. I'm not gonna read it.
Good. Well, that's also black literature, but it's also like Dr. Umar Johnson's black literature.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Most certainly not.
We're not.
Real, but don't keep it too real.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing nothing Umar Johnson was talking about. And the funny thing was, I was listening to him for a second. Then he started talking stuff about interracial marriage. I was like, oh yeah, you're tripping.
That was your line, interracial marriage?
Yeah, because that one hit close to home. So it's like, oh, yeah, no.
The fact that he sounds like a street prophet, that's what did it for me. Period. It's like, nope. You sound like a fucking 1%er. I'm good off that. I'm so good off that. Oh, those motherfuckers are the ones that need to take a nap for real.
Yeah. With that being said, I think it's time. I think I can bring it on home at this point.
Sure.
My name is Kenneth Whitaker, a.k.a. Hendrik Solo, the original owner of the Millennial Falcon, a.k.a. the one that disposed of Han Solo.
I don't know, man. We'll switch it back and forth. Shame on you for keeping those two so close together. Fuck it.
A.k.a. the last Black Jedi. I was going to switch it too, but I'll change mine. Yeah, last Black Jedi. My sound effect.
Find it behind the motherfucking iPad. Here we go.
Oh man, AKA not your man. I'm a savage. I will do the voice, but I am out of it.
It's late. It's fucking late. Like, it's so late. I thought we were going to get everything done lickety split tonight. Boy, was I wrong. We had so much to talk about, but we didn't record it all.
So, we didn't. It's just this is still great though. So like it, love it.
This is our least funniest. This is one of our least funnier episodes, but it was still a good episode.
It is one of the least funnier ones.
We shot the shit. Any episode where we shoot the shit, we say something of importance, I'm fine with that. If it's an episode where like I don't know, I smoked an indica and I just start blanking out all episode long, and you got to carry it for me. That's a bad episode, in my opinion. I've had bad episodes, Kenny, within these last 97 episodes.
We've both had bad episodes.
No, but mine's just been bombing. Like I just been like,
You know, a couple.
Shit. I had the word for this.
A couple of us make us human, so it's okay. It's like when you go through the drive-thru. Can I get a and you've been there like a time.
But not when you searching for the words and all you getting is like that's not good. That's not very cash money of me, Kenny. Not very cash money of me at all.
Whatever. AKA Mr. Ghost Slick Vodka. Mark, I called the cops. You should hide your gun. What's that? It's detergent. Yeah, what are you doing with it? I got blood in my pants. Oh, man. AKA the American Scheme Buster Rules. Now, Thick Flair, I know that I was late, but I got an elbow just for you and knock a few pounds off of you. Because one thing that you need to know, the American Scheme Buster Rules is the heftiest of the hefty, baby. And there's no one that's going to take his number one spot. That man said, my belly just a little big, my hand is just a little big, but I'm bad and they know I'm bad. Fat white man. Oh, where am I? AKA the very sexual, the very tight.
Very tight, yes.
Austin Powers Faja.
Wait, it's Faja?
That is Faja.
Oh.
You know what we do in Russia to keep warm, Mr. Powell? Oh, I can guess, baby. We play chess. I guessed wrong. I feel like I'm missing one, but I don't know. AKA this black man.
Nah, you already did Nacho Man, I'm a savage, so
Yeah.
You covered all bases here.
Okay. AKA this black man, I don't have lines today. So where's Austin?
Oddly enough, Austin's not in for the back end of this episode.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well.
He had an early night tonight. He was only there for the first act.
All right, well.
So, there you go. You got
my competition. There you go.
There you go.
You people finally stay tuned to the end when Vincent Kennedy Black Man wins. There you go.
There you are. You happy now? You don't get this. You don't have to sell a stunner.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Here.
Why are you running? Why are you running? All right.
Okay.
It's on you now.
All right. To bring it on home, my name is Carlos Crawford, a.k.a. going on an angry super kick tirade, much to Kenny's amusement. It's Chin Music Charlie. AKA Thick Flair. The bottom line is, I got a big mouth, but I'm the best. I'm overbearing, I'm obnoxious, and I know it. Busty Rhodes, you want to be the man? You got to beat the man. You know what else you got to do? You got to walk down that aisle, buddy. And you're too fat to make it down that aisle. Woo!
Okay. Promo war.
AKA Snack Miller. Fresh out of prison, throw the deuces up like Nixon. Tell me what's the difference between wisdom and superstition? We just civilians. Villains kiss the infants. Ain't no such thing as coincidence. Shit. AKA Gelato Graham. You would think to restart the league in an area with low cases, and even I'm not high enough to understand that.
Lord have mercy.
AKA Ricky Spanglish. I haven't heard from him since I let him borrow my car to go to the store, and I ended up getting arrested because he decided to rob a bank with my car. If I catch him, I'm going to give him a $6,000 ass whooping. $1 for every punch I'd use to make bail. Ricky Spanglish. I love that. I'm so glad I put that one into use. So glad.
That's so
that has been a nickname of mine for a long time, like a little like AK of mine for a long time. So yeah, I'm glad. Yes. But AKA Haystack West, leaving the sheriff the fuck up the timing of a plan. Mom, you fine out there? So it seems, son. Officer, here's what's going to happen. We're going to let these hostages go harmless for cooperating with us. Go on, y'all. No worries about down today. Sorry for the inconveniences. Now, officer, I would like you to surrender or suffer the consequences. What is she doing? We may have stumbled upon Plan B, son. Follow your mama's lead. So be it. Gentlemen, get ready for it. Why did any of those shots hit the bank? Quick, let's leak out the side door and help your brothers take these bastards out. Don't leave a goddamn cent.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 97.
Ooh, we're getting there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are off this.
We out.